It's Thursday, the 26th of June, 2025, and welcome to the Water Action Platform, a monthly broadcast that shares uplifting stories from across the global water sector. My name is Piers Clark, and today I'll be sharing an update on the Institute of Civil Engineers State of the Nation report. We have a pump technology showcase. It's all about a sort of Fitbit pump. And we go to Samoa to hear about a recent technology trial. Our And Finally story is about dinosaurs. What's not to like? Now, before we get to that, though, let's pause to thank our sponsors, without whom we'd not be able to do these Water Action Platform broadcasts, nor the Executive Exchange podcasts, nor provide funding to the technology entrepreneurs through the trial Reservoir. So we are absolutely indebted to them. Thank you if you're a sponsor. Now, let's go to our first story, that State of the Nation report from the Institute of Civil Engineers. With 97,000 members worldwide, the Institution of Civil Engineers, or the ICE as it's commonly known, exists to ensure that the world has the engineering capacity and the infrastructure that it needs to enable the planet and its people to thrive. Their recent State of the Nation report is an annual flagship, in-depth expert assessment of infrastructure, focusing on transport, energy and water. It's looked at topics such as energy security and diversification, climate change and decarbonisation, ageing and unsafe infrastructure. It is a fascinating read. And to get a taster of what we can find in that report, Joe Burgess spoke with Mark Hansford. As Director of Engineering and Knowledge at the ICE, Mark is responsible for identifying and delivering knowledge content.
Well, hi, Joe. It's great to be here. I'm Mark Hansford. I'm Director of Knowledge at the Institution of Civil Engineers, and it's my job really to harness the wit and wisdom of our global membership base to help each other be better at what we do, fundamentally. So that is by helping to provide CPD training materials, but also advance industry kind of knowledge and best practice in some of the key areas that we are facing change. And a lot of our efforts are based around helping our members tackle climate change through decarbonisation and providing more resilient solutions. We also have a strong theme around helping the industry be more productive so that we can get more out of the money we have, and might come on to that later perhaps. But we also are really keen to explore issues facing the key sectors in which our members work, and that's the role of State of the Nation. Each year it's our kind of deep dive into the key sectors, water, transport and energy, which are where most of our members ply their trade and where we can therefore have most of a positive impact on society, because that is the core the IC is here to do.
I was very excited to see your 2025 report come out, and there are a few things in it that I think are going to be critical over the next sort of 1, 3, 5 years. Firstly, your wastewater recycling proposals face what the report very candidly calls the yuck factor, public aversion to treated sewage in their drinking supplies. The Singapore example, Windhoek and others, but the example in your report shows this can be overcome. But how will design champions fundamentally restructure community engagement compared to past failed consultations on reservoirs like Havant Thicket?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. It was a really interesting process getting to the topic we chose this year. We knew we wanted to do something around a resource issue. And so last year we looked at the stormwater overflows issue, which of course has put our industry very much on the back foot in public opinion, and we recognise that clearly there's much work still to be done there, and we're doing things in that space. But this year we did want to look forward and really address the fact that as we all know, as many reports, including National Infrastructure Commission's second annual second assessment showed, we are desperately short of resources. So, and we were originally going to purely look at just the growing demand for new reservoirs. With was it 1992, the last time we actually opened a reservoir in this country. So we know that in itself is going to be a heck of a challenge. But actually, through discussion and debate, I mean, building a reservoir almost only half the challenge. You need to fill it with something, and that's almost a bigger challenge. And that's where the conversation really went to trying to crack this nut that is getting public sort of acceptance of the reuse.
It's interesting because you mention productive infrastructure in that example, and you've also mentioned the lack of resources, both water resources and financial resources. Elsewhere in the report, it emphasises productive infrastructure that delivers social value, but the Spring 2025 National Strategy must reconcile more infrastructure or productive infrastructure with austerity pressures. Do you think engineers should accept project cancellations if political cycles disrupt the sort of 25-year asset plans? Or do you think professional duty demands more radical advocacy?
Well, gosh, I mean, we know, this spring going into early summer is such a critical point for UK infrastructure, isn't it? With the new strategies for infrastructure more broadly, and also transport. So there's a great opportunity for and the creation of the NISTA, the new body to oversee our infrastructure strategy. So there's a huge opportunity to get this thing joined up, I guess, and that's definitely what the ICE is advocating, is for a much more holistic sort of infrastructure strategy, which does correctly prioritise the key issues. And I think this year's report, I mean, it's really interesting that in the transport space, we recognise the real challenges around the ageing nature of our existing infrastructure. So we're not really advocating for lots of brand new, shiny infrastructure in transport, but contrast that to water and energy sectors where we're actually we are advocating for new infrastructure. We are advocating for, in the water space, new reservoirs, because we do need new capacity, and obviously that comes with it, new pipe work and the like, and very similar in energy, really. We know we need new sources of energy which are not fossil fuel based, and that is going to involve a massive challenge of providing the connectivity through basically completely regridding the country. So there is huge new infrastructure needed in the UK, and it's probably not in the place we've traditionally been building new infrastructure.
If people want to see the whole report, where can they find it?
It's on our website, ice.org.uk, and I'd recommend it to all.
Thank you, Mark. Now, here is the QR code to download the report. Its take-home messages are all about the cross-sectoral matters. Energy efficiency in water systems isn't just cost-saving, it's a safeguard against the cascading resource crises. Proactive infrastructure upgrades prevent the water energy system from collapsing during extreme events. And if you want resilience, then cross-sector collaboration is a non-negotiable. Full stop. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Now, talking of countries, I want you to come with me now to a trial on the other side of the world in Samoa. Here is my colleague Reshmina sharing some more.
Back in October, we launched Bynry's trial of the Smart 360 digital platform with the Samoa Water Authority through Isle's climate change trial Reservoir. After completing their trial in April, Bynry and Samoa Water Authority's continued partnership promises to grow Bynry's market with Pacific Island nations and accelerate Samoa Water Authority's digital transformation. Here's Bynry's founder and CEO, Nilesh Goody, to tell us more.
Nilesh, thank you so much for being here to talk to us a little bit more about your trial with Samoa Water Authority. Could you start us off by telling us a little bit more about Smart 360 and what it does?
Sure. So first of all, thank you very much, Reshmina, for opening this opportunity. Really appreciate it. About Smart 360, it is a unified utility management software platform specially designed for small and mid-size utilities. The challenge we saw was while the large players get their hands on the best of the technology available in the market, we saw that small and mid-size utilities don't get that opportunity because of multiple factors. And they stuck with their legacy setup, which they might be using from last 20, 15 years. And that tech is not helping them. And, they're just living with it. So what we thought, create one unified solution where their consumers, their technicians, their back office, their assets, everything can come onto the same platform. so that the entire operations we can take from efficiency level 1 to efficiency level 10. And that's what we've been trying to do, offer the best in class technology through cloud, through AI enablement to these small and mid-sized utilities, so they can manage their day-to-day operations very efficiently and in a most affordable way.
So you talked a little bit more generally about the implications of Smart 360 for small and medium-sized utilities more broadly. Could you tell us a little bit more about this specific trial? So how did you implement Smart 360 for Samoa Water Authority, and what were some of the savings or the benefits that they'll be seeing as they roll out this technology?
Sure. So in Samoa's case, they implemented a technology which was done in 2003, 2004. So this is like before the smartphone came into existence. So the entire architecture was designed at that time, and over the period it served them well initially, but in last 5-6 years they started seeing the limitation of this technology because there was no seamless mobile connectivity, field connectivity, and things like that. And the feature wise also there were a lot that can be done. They were not getting the benefit out of it. So that's when they approached us. They wanted to do something cloud based, AI enabled based. So our promise was we will launch this in 10 weeks, 12 weeks, and we could transition them data migration and things like that very easily. The adoption took some time. But from the benefit point of view, immediately, I can tell you that before Smart 360, they were doing their meter to cash process in an automated way, while their work orders and their assets were like completely manual, and the assets were semi automated. And the reporting part was very with limitations, right? Now they got like one system where all their consumers or their meters billing, all their service orders has been digitized. All their assets are coming onto the platform now. They are able to generate reports with a click of a button. This is like already magic for them. The second thing which happened is they ran on one island. They ran the meter reading program using the photometer reads, and now they know the exact location of all the meters and their conditions. And they already launched the meter replacement program through the technology itself. So they're able to track every meter that is getting changed, every meter which is like already broken and lying there. They know exact location. So this is a huge value for them. In last billing cycle, we shown them how they're losing like tens and thousands gallons of water which is not getting billed. So my team is working with them in hand and close, and we're analyzing how bills are getting generated, and we are comparing them. They're still doing some parallel runs right now, and we're able to showcase them where exactly the billing is going wrong and how we're able to produce the correct bill into the system. So they're able to recover this revenue which they were losing before. This is like this is not like you are just changing the software. This is like you are changing the way you are dealing with your user.
Right. You're changing the platform for integrating with the utility. That's fantastic. We're coming kind of to the end of this conversation, but before I let you go, I wanted to hear about your experience going through the trial reservoir process as a vendor, and whether you'd recommend the process to other technology companies who might be considering joining the trial reservoir pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because see, when you are early in the game, there are a lot of unknowns. So when the partner like Trial Reservoir comes onto the board, what happens is you have very experienced partner with you. Sometimes you may not map your decision makers properly. Sometimes you have to drive the program in a very professional way. You need to do those hard conversations sometimes, from the project management point of view. And because you haven't matured your internal capabilities to that level, right, you might get stuck. And when you have a partner like Trial Reservoir, who is working along with you, who is like every month coming, doing the check-ins with customer, doing the check-ins with you, telling you like what are the next milestones, what we have agreed, also giving you a feedback, talking to your customer, giving you feedback that these are the improvements you'll have to do. I think this is a lot of value for, early stage company. So I will definitely recommend, if people are in an early stage, they want to drive these trials. There are a lot of unknowns that you are not aware. So definitely the Trial Reservoir program can help you with that.
Thank you to Nilesh for your thoughts on a truly fascinating project. Now, as you've heard, Smart 360's 8-month trial has been a resounding success with over 35,000 customer and meter readings successfully digitized and 25,000 meter readings captured and validated. The result? A streamlined automated process that means less operational overhead for the Samoa Water Authority, fewer opportunities for inaccuracies, and fewer emissions due to a reduced need for site visits by technicians. Samoa Water Authority's experience offers a powerful message to other utilities. Digital transformation is not reserved for large, well-funded organizations. By adopting Smart 360, the Samoa Water Authority has enhanced data quality, streamlined billing, empowered field staff, and taken meaningful steps towards tackling non-revenue water. And in a sector where full technology rollouts following pilot success are still rare, Samoa Water Authority is setting a new standard for bold, data-driven decision-making. To learn more about the trial reservoir model and to see if it will be a good fit for your utility, reach out to Joe Burgess, ISLE's global head of the trial reservoir program. And now, Piers, back to you.
Thank you, Reshmina. Now, purely by chance, we are going now from the country of Samoa to a technology called Samotics. Now, as far as I know, it's purely coincidence. The country and the technology have no link other than similar names, but it's a rather nice one. Now, Samotics technology, called SAM4, is, to my mind at least, a Fitbit for pumps. What do I mean by that? Well, just like the Fitbit that you're probably wearing right now that's monitoring your heart rate, their technology sits quietly monitoring the power supply to a pump. It picks up the various electronic signals that indicate if it's working well or if it needs attention. Simon Jaggers, the man you're about to hear from, is the co-founder of Samotics. Simon's claim is that SAM4 gives real-time, actionable insights into the condition, performance, and energy efficiency of critical pump infrastructure. SAM4 acquires the data, analyzes, and then spits it out into a dashboard with actionable insights. As I said before, it's a Fitbit for pumps. Here is Simon sharing some more.
Samotics is a monitoring system for pumps, in particular, rotating equipment. And it monitors those assets 24/7 to provide real-time and actionable insights about the condition, performance, and energy efficiency of those assets. Right. So what this means on a day-to-day basis is that we detect upcoming faults, either electrical or mechanical, at a very early stage, allowing clients to schedule inspections, repairs, or replacements before downtime happens. And it shows where and how energy can be saved, typically leading to energy savings of 10, 15, even 20% without compromising performance.
Yeah, as the former asset director of a big water utility in the UK, this sort of stuff was my dream, having something that was going to make sure that the car was running smoothly and didn't need extra maintenance. So does it work on all types of pumps, or do I need to have particularly modern ones, smart pumps?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, you'll always find here and there things that don't work, but in general, I would say 99% of pumps is a great fit, as long as they are powered by an AC induction motor, because we really turn that motor into a sensor for the entire system. So it has to be an AC induction motor, but if that is satisfied, we can work. Yeah.
It's measuring the heartbeat of how well everything's going, isn't it? So go on then. Tell me, how many is this? How many of these are in use around the world? How many utilities have you actually got using this, or is this still sort of stuck in the lab?
No. Well, so we monitor thousands of pumps across the globe. So I think in the UK, we are about to implement like the 10,000 pump already, or we're certainly nearing that number. And many of those pumps are very old or somewhat newer. I would say that all pumps that are installed today or have been installed today are traditional in nature. And we integrate our technology with those pumps, whether they're 10, 15, 20 years old, to turn that traditional pump into a smart, connected, even context-aware pump.
Brilliant. Brilliant. All right. 10,000 in the UK alone. That's very impressive. I hadn't anticipated that answer. That must mean that the commercials are well understood. So if I'm a client, how does this work for me? What's the financial model here? How long does it take to get to payback?
Well, let me preface that by saying we very much see this as a technology delivered as a service. And what we found in the field, if that makes sense, is that implementing a technology in and of itself doesn't lead to value, right? So we provide this as a service, meaning we charge on an annual basis for the hardware, the software, and the monitoring service. And this means that we feel responsible and we take responsibility from installing the technology to bring it to value, which includes, for instance, weekly calls. We have people sitting in control rooms of our clients to make sure that they adopt the technology and use it in the best way possible. So if all of that is running well, it typically means that we see an ROI of 400%, meaning that for every pound invested, we generate 4 pounds of value. And so a client like Yorkshire Water recently published in a paper that the value that we brought to them was roughly 7.5 million UK pounds.
Samotics' aim is to make a meaningful impact on the resilience and the sustainability of the utilities that they work with. They're already monitoring literally thousands of pumps, detecting around 90% of the faults before downtime occurs, and identifying opportunities for energy savings. Now, the bit that I particularly like is how it transforms traditional sort of dumb pumps into smart connected assets. The power behind Samotics is electrical signature analysis, or ESA, and ESA is the key to building the smart utility of the future. And finally, now I don't know what you expect when you dig up a sewer, but I'm prepared to bet my kidneys it's not this. During an upgrade of a wastewater treatment plant in Auckland, New Zealand, contractors stumbled upon the unexpected, an ancient shell bed that has become one of the richest fossil finds in the country. The treasure trove of fossils was unearthed whilst excavating shafts for the upgrade to Auckland's main sewer pipeline, and after the discovery was made, the heap of sand was moved to a nearby field where paleontologists began the lengthy process of examination and identification. Now, incredibly, researchers found over 300,000 fossils from the late Pliocene age. Though the sheer number of fossils discovered could be considered a significant find in itself, the dig became New Zealand's most diverse, containing fossils from many different environments brought together in an ancient marine channel by wave action and strong currents. The research team identified 266 different fossil species, including 10 that were previously unknown. Other rare finds were a spine from an extinct saw shark and dental plates from eagle rays and carnivorous snails. It just goes to show that sometimes one man's waste is truly another man's treasure. With that, we come to the end of this month's broadcast, and once again, I thank our sponsors shown here. The next Water Action Platform broadcast will be released on Thursday, the 24th of July, and will focus on water and literature. I hope you can join us. Until then, keep asking questions, keep sharing, and keep safe.